true or false? 1/4 and 1/4 and 1/4 is the same as 1/4 times 3. Use your fraction tiles to prove if this is true or false. Pause the video here to do so. Let's see how you did. Well, let's see. If I have 1/4 plus 1/4 plus 1/4. Okay. Here's my whole. That's 1/4 and 1/4 and 1/4. If I take that 1/4 and I times it by 3, that means putting 3 of them in there. Is that the same? It is. 1/4 and 1/4 and 1/4 is 3/4. If I add those up together, I get 3/4. If I do 1/4 3 times, I also get 3/4. So I can say this is the same as 1/4 times 3. Now I'm wondering if this is true or false. A student told me you can multiply or divide to add and subtract fractions. Do you think that's true? Talk about it as a class. Is this possible? If so, how would you prove it? If it's not possible, how can you prove that? Pause the video and discuss. What do you think? Can you multiply or divide to add or subtract fractions? Well, one person told me an example would be our 1/4, 1/4, and 1/4. We learned that 1/4 plus 1/4 plus 1/4 is the same as 1/4 3 times. But then people were saying if you do 1/4 times 3, you could get 3, because 1 times 3 is 3, and 4 times 3 is 12. So it'd be 3/12. But that wasn't true. That wasn't true at all. So that got me very confused, because I can see that is not true here. 1/4 3 times did not be 3/12. If I get 3/12 out, that's not even close to 1/4 3 times. What does this make you think now? Pause the video and discuss. Well, now I'm wondering about divide. Could we divide somehow with subtraction? I know we multiplied and added together. Could we subtract and divide together? Well, if I have one whole and I take away 1/4, 1/4, 1/4. So let's say I have 4/4 to start with. I can even put this one turned over. I have 4/4, and I'm going to take away 1/4, 1/4, and 1/4. 1/4, 1/4, and 1/4. Then I know I have 1/4 left because I took away, really, this is 3/4. Did I divide somehow? Pause and discuss. What did you decide? Can I do 4/4 divided by 3? What happens then? 4/4 divided by 3. Well, if I divide these into 3 pieces, I can't really do that. So that doesn't work in that case. What does that make you think now? Is there a rule for multiplying and dividing to add and subtract? What would that rule be? A rule we can say is that you can multiply a fraction by a whole number to add fractions. For example, if I have 1/8 plus 1/8 plus 1/8 plus 1/8, I can see I have 4/8 of a whole. I could also say, instead of 1/8 plus 1/8 plus 1/8 plus 1/8, I can say 1/8 times 4 If I have 1/8 4 times, that would equal 4/8. But it does not quite work this exact same way for division. Go ahead and explore and see what you can decide for division. And as a class, decide what you might say for division and subtraction.